Hi, everyone. Welcome to Radiant Living, Inspiring Humanity to Thrive. I'm your host, Marisa B. Today, I'd like to welcome healer, leader, and catalyst for transformation, who's dedicated over 50 years to guiding women worldwide toward the fullness of who they truly are. I'd like to welcome today Sue Bradley. Sue, thank you so much for coming. It's so
Oh,
wonderful to have you here.
I am so happy to be here with you, Marissa. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you. And the first thing I have to say is, first of all, thank you. Over 50 years. Wow. That's unbelievable. And I know that your journey was long, and I know that you all are in the healing arts, but you've also been in wellness as well for many years. Can you, first of all, tell the audience a little bit about how you got started with all of this?
Well, I started out as a nurse. My mom was a nurse, and my two aunts were nurses. And I didn't have a plan for life after high school. I didn't even know that, there was a life after high school. I had not been prepared at all. And so when I started, they hadn't really prepared me for college or any of that. I was just so amazed that the people that I was graduating with were going off to these, universities. It's like, how did they do that? So eventually, living at home, my mom asked me, well, would you like to try nursing? And I said, sure. I didn't have anything else to do. So that's how I got started. I went to nursing school, and I was not a good student in school because I was undiagnosed with dyslexia and learning disability. I always just thought I was stupid. And it turned out that I'm not. I just learn differently than people. I'm a very, very different than most mainstream people that I learned over the years. But that's how I got started in nursing. And my career started in ICU. So I saw people at their worst health conditions, crisis, where they were really trying to survive life. And when I was 20 and I was working in a surgical ICU. They had just started doing open heart surgeries where I was. And here we were in a ward, and there was a person that was on a ventilator with all of the tubes and everything. They used to lay in bed for a week.
Oh my gosh.
And I was standing there and I was asking the doctor if there was anything that that person could have done to not be in that
Mhm.
situation. And he had no answer for me. But the universe heard my
Mhm.
question. And so then that has been my life's unfolding, is the answering of that question. Was there anything that this person could have done to not end up in that shape? And the answer is yes. And so
Yeah.
that was the beginning of my journey through health.
Mhm.
And
And of
well,
course, it's all encompassing, right? It's all encompassing. I mean, you have to have your health before you can do anything else. And yet your health suffers when all the other things suffer.
oh,
And we don't, a lot of us don't realize that, right? That it's all, it comes all together. It really is body, mind, and spirit. Otherwise, you'll fall apart in the different avenues, right, of your life. And I know you've also done you were a massage therapist too, because you did take that up to offer people more assistance, because you would think already the ICU is like a tremendous job, and you're still nursing. Yes, you still nurse, right? You're still nursing.
I'm not being paid as a nurse. I still use all my nursing skills. My mom had a massive stroke, and I took care of her for 3.5 years. My husband has declined in
Yes.
health, and so I use my nursing skills. I'm
Hmm.
not receiving, that's not my source of
Right.
income. But yes, I'm still working as a massage therapist. And so that was one of
Yes.
the things, is that I went from asking that question of how do we like not end up that way, and the journey of my own witness moving through the nursing and then changing to massage therapy and realizing, like what you just said, that
Hmm.
it's all connected. And even from the ethers, as it comes down
Hmm.
manifest in the human life, we have the ability to tap into that and change the trajectory of whatever our experience
Yes.
is. Yeah, I know you know that
Yep.
because that's what you do.
Yes, it's funny you say that. You say it's funny you say that, because I just had a conversation with someone for the past 3 days who has just gone on and on and on in a negative fashion. And finally, it's not a client of mine, but someone I know in my personal life, and on and on and on. And I finally had to say, do you realize that these are self-fulfilling prophecies? The more negativity you spout, the more negativity comes onto you. You have to change that record. If you don't change the record, it's going to come with you no matter where you go, all that negativity. And it was very oppressing. And I thought, this is so sad because I find that it's actually making the person physically ill too.
Yes, absolutely, because our thoughts manifest into the denser energies in our physical body. And there's a whole, I don't know if you know who Louise Hay is. Have you ever heard
Yes.
of her? Yeah.
Yes.
So she did, that was her whole thing of how
Yes.
we can turn that around. She wrote a book, You Can Heal Your Life, and it has a lot to do with what goes on in our mind.
Right.
The mind is generating all the energy that moves through our body. And yeah, so yeah, I was talking about that on my live the other day, is how I had created my own tornado because in the I think it's Michael Singer talks about us having our own personal mind. It's really where our ego and all of our preferences
Mhm.
live and our samskaras. And I've been whining and complaining about
Mhm.
my about my circumstances. And I was creating this tornado
Yes.
of my own. And I realized that I needed to just woo, come down
Mhm.
and stop generating all of that because, like you say, it starts picking up all the
Mhm.
stuff, throwing all that trash around.
It
And
does.
we need to find the still point. I was mixing two metaphors because I live,
Mhm.
the hurricanes come, but there is the eye
Yes.
of the storm. And that's where, if we can come back to the stillness within and find that, we can get out of the circling of this energy. And like you say, the law of attraction talks about, what the vibration that you're
Mhm.
holding, that's what's going to come to you. And if we can keep raising our vibration and waking up our consciousness and getting that higher attunement,
Mhm.
then we have the power. And that's where my work comes in, is to empower women to realize with the awareness that they have the power within to create the life that they want.
Mhm.
And it comes in being able to break patterns. The Toltec talk about our domestication. And so whenever we're born into a family, we have a culture, we have a time frame of whatever's happening in the world events. And all these things come in as our domestication. And we are told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, what it looks like, the timing of it all. As a child, we are directed all of that. And so we take all that in. We have no boundaries. We're trying to learn all this a little bit at a time, but we are a package deal as we go through our young childhood.
Mhm.
And then we're thrust out into the world. And so a lot of us, me included, try to work out all this stuff that we were given. They also talk about the a book of law, so
Mhm.
that here's what you need to be doing. For me, it was like I was to get married. I was
Mhm.
to have children and live happily ever after. Well, that was what was handed to me because that
Mhm.
was how I was trained and how I was prepared. There was no college involvement.
Mhm.
And at one point, my mom said, well, you should get an education just in case.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, just in case of what?
Yes.
I was like, well, they didn't tell
Mm.
me that part. Anyway, so,
Yes.
we're doing the domestication and the book of law, and we work that out in our 20s, trying to figure out who we are and work it out in the 30s and the 40s. And then we get there and we like, well, like, is this all there is? Like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy. What is going on? And so then when we begin, there's this thing within us that we were given when we were born. The ishq is how the Sufis call
Mhm.
it, is this gift that we have. And it's like, well, I've been put in this package.
Mhm.
And now I got to get out of the package. It's like unlearning all the things that we learned
Right.
and find the new way, the new path. And that's what the person that you were talking about, she's probably in a trap of the way
Mhm.
that she's always done it. And she's spinning in her own little
Mhm.
cycle. And it's not until somebody says, hey, there's another way. You can get out
Mhm.
of that. And then throw a lifeline to say, time out.
Right. And sometimes we talk about small steps, right? Small
Oh,
steps, but sometimes they have to be monumental. I mean, sometimes they do. We don't. we don't want to say that, but it is true. And we certainly can't make that decision for someone else. But in conversation, you can hear whether an individual has to make a monumental decision to move in a different direction or not. And that too can happen, right? I mean, yes, we always talk about micro steps, and the micro steps are what you handle daily in your life to start you on that path. But sometimes things do have to shift a lot. A
Yeah,
lot, they have to shift in a great way.
yeah, sometimes circumstances will shift it for us. It's like
True.
for my mom, she just could not. We kept inviting her to come and live with us, and we'll have a great life together as she was aging, and she was living by herself on a lake, and it was like she just couldn't let go of where she was. She couldn't see it until finally she had this massive stroke, and she laid on the ground for like 3 days before anybody
Oh,
found her.
wow.
It's amazing
Oh
that
my
she
gosh.
survived. But then that decision was made for her. Like
Mhm.
she didn't have any more opportunity to
Yes.
input because she couldn't make decisions. And so then we finally got the dream. We got her to come
Mhm.
live with us, but it sure didn't look like what we had talked.
Right.
And so, we can choose that way. That is a path that if
Mhm.
we are so stuck in our ways that it can turn out that way. We can have these
Mhm.
circumstances, and that is an option. And the thing that I would love for your listeners to know is that you have a choice. We are always at choice point. Even in our
Yes.
action is a choice. And so in any moment is a portal into the sacred where we can open up this human experience and invite in the sacred being, the one, the creator, however the word that you might call that energy of life that is everywhere and in everything. All the wisdom keepers have told us
Mhm.
about that. And so we can tap into that if we are lacking in knowledge, if we are lacking in heart, if we're lacking in anything in our humanness, there is so much abundance in
Mhm.
one, in the great mystery, in the higher vibrations that are available to us. And if we don't know that, then here's your message. It's
Yeah.
available. Yes.
And sometimes it is a micro step when we're speaking about that. Because as you said, there are those monumental changes, and either we do them or it's thrust upon us from wherever it comes from. But those small steps, because sometimes it feels overwhelming, I think, to people. They don't know where to start. They
Yes.
know that there's something missing, or they know that things have to change, or they know that they're not happy. But it's the small step to even open yourself up to find out, because sometimes that's all you need in the very beginning, because you
Well,
have to start somewhere, right? One foot in front of the other.
yeah. And the smallest step is help.
Yes,
The ask.
true.
We have to be open to receive, because from the spiritual point of view, there is never any spirit that's going to thrust upon you, you need to do this. No, it's the spirit is always waiting and
Mhm.
and have an invitation, and it's up to us to say, I'm not happy. What needs to change?
Mhm.
I am looking for something, but I don't know what it is. Can you help me? And reaching out and being willing, because there's the old saying, the adage of when the student is ready, the teacher shows
Mhm.
up. And so those small micro steps is becoming aware that there is this discord, this something ain't right inside. I don't know what it is, but the awareness of that is a small step. And then the next step is, I need something. I don't know what it is. Can you help me? Is the next step. And then waiting and looking and begin, your own process of searching out and checking. Is this it? No. Is that it? The discernment comes. So those
Mhm.
micro steps that you're talking about are exactly how we get from here to there.
Now, what do you tell, since you've been doing this, and I defer to you for all your experience, you've been doing this for so many years. What do you tell people now? They're on the path, they've been on the path a long time, but there are still outside external forces. For example, family or employment, that sometimes seems almost insurmountable because even though they've been on a path for a long time, they're working on themselves, they're working on their journey, but these other forces sometimes are present and are not on the same path. To put it nicely, are not on the same path. What do you tell clients? How should they proceed with that? Because I know that this is a big situation for many people out there.
So, first off, I'd like to say that we have no control over anyone else but ourselves. We are responsible for ourselves. Nobody else is. And so that for me is once I got really solid in that, that I can only be responsible for me, my nervous system, my perception, my responses. I can't do anything about all the other people, like all the horrible things that are happening. I,
Yeah.
I can send out my love.
Right. Yes.
World.
Intend for good and yes, peace
Yeah.
and
And
love, but
and my nervous system has been shaken by all the things. I got a huge shock yesterday when I happened to read, and I don't normally do this, and I don't really have these people in my life, but somebody who was close to me dropped this thing on Facebook, and then there were all these responses, and I went and read them, and it was like, oh, and so I've been shaken, but what I recognize is that I don't have any control over their opinions, over their interactions with each other. So then I had to just come home to myself and take care of myself. What do I need? Those kinds of things I know are not good for my system. I want to know what's going on in the world, but I can't watch too much news because I know that I am a sensitive human being and I take on a lot. I live most of my life taking on everybody else's feelings and not knowing and discerning what's theirs and what's mine. So somebody who's been on the path, I think in times like this is to become even more aware of our own being and what we can do, because as the more that I clean out my human capacity and all my trauma and my judgments, then I make more room and space and capacity for the spirit to flow through me, which is the abundance, the love, the peace, the joy that I'm choosing to bring into my life. And so as we keep cleaning out our own house, have a friend, she is a broom maker.
oh,
And
nice.
yeah, she just got interviewed on the Texas Country Reporter. And one of the things that she said is that, a broom is created to sweep. And sometimes we need to be sweeping out our internal house. And it was like, okay, so that's my work in the world, that as I keep clean, I'm going to have the ripple effect of those around me in my immediate circle, whom I can affect. So being in the presence of you, both of us have probably been doing our work and we are creating something together that is really rich and nurturing and nourishing. And people are going to come to the oasis here to find
Right.
that nourishment. And so that's, I can't change what's going on out there, but
Mhm.
I certainly have the ability to change my inside. And that's the best gift that I can bring to the world, is to clear out and then be giving that love, that unconditional love that the world needs. I can't go to Gaza and, do all the things,
Right.
the starving children, but I can do my meta practice
Mhm.
and send, that love. I
Yes.
don't know why they're having the experience that they're having. And I don't know why I'm so rich and, get to enjoy,
Mhm.
food on my dinner table and air conditioning and get
Right.
to do what I want to do. I don't understand all that, but I know that I'm called because they are suffering, I am suffering,
Mhm.
but I can send my love, and that's what I can do. But I can't do that if my energy's all clogged up.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that was a long answer to your
No,
question.
no, no. And now, because I do have two other questions. The first one is, so now we talk about this, and as women, often when this occurs, they always had the statement, "Oh, she's selfish," or "Oh, she's self-centered." What do you say to that? Because sadly, I still hear that nowadays. Um, my job is telling clients that they have to um, work on themselves first, love themselves first, and, find their self-worth. And yet the world, especially towards women, is still saying that many are selfish. What do you say to that?
Well, the thing that's rising up in me, I just heard the words domestication and book of law. I mean, those are what I grew up in. Like I was born in the 50s, right? And so you think about my parents, who the men went off to war as teenagers, they come back, they're heroes, and the women should be, bowing down and worshiping. You look back at all the ads where the woman had her pearl necklace in her high heels and brings the man his things. It's like that was not what we were groomed for. Because if we're not out there serving, the men and the children, then we are selfish. And the way to keep us in that paradigm was to humanly accuse and blame. You're not doing the right thing. The book of law says that you need to be doing this. And so that's really what is happening, is that we are breaking out and looking at this book of law and going, that really ain't working for me. The better paradigm is that as I do take care of myself and I
Mm-hmm.
realize what's setting me off, that's the best thing that I can do for you. Take responsibility for working on myself. That if I have this old trauma that says, XYZ, and it keeps showing up because the trauma is insidious. It's that
Mm-hmm.
underlying unconscious thing that moves us. But when we can bring that to our consciousness and go, oh, uh-huh, no more,
Yeah.
then that's the gift that I can bring to you. But if you want to keep slamming me down to the floor and say, well, that's just selfish, you know, uh, but really, if you allow me to pay attention to myself and take care of myself in a way that I need to heal me, then I'm going to show up even better for you. And so it's an old paradigm that's telling us that that's not what we should be doing. And the new paradigm is, yes, that's exactly what you should be doing so that we can
Mm-hmm.
open up more space for more generosity, for more kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm kind to myself, then I
Right.
can be kind to you. And that's one of the Bible verses that I think Jesus had said, love your neighbor as yourself. So
Mhm.
that's both of us in relationship. What does it look like for me to love myself? What does that mean? What does that mean for your audience here? For you
Yes, exactly.
love yourself. What does that mean? And if you're gonna love somebody else,
Mhm.
what does that mean? Like, what does
Right.
love look like? So that would be, that's an old paradigm, the being selfish. Um,
Mhm.
Time for that one to go.
Yeah. Yes. And so that brings me to the next question because, and first the statement, because your logo is in the back and you have actually expanded and offered to other people because you are a festival host. And I wanted you to talk a little bit about that. You're a festival host and you offer a platform for all of us to speak. So could you speak about that and let the audience in on that because it's a fabulous platform.
Thank you for that. Yes, I was one of the, I don't know, I guess, excited ones to begin to create a sacred container. That was what was so exciting for me because we women need to have these conversations. It's kind of like the red tent from a long time ago when
Yes.
go and have their periods, that they could all be together and nurture one another. And that's sort of what it's not sort of, it is what this feminine forum, woman to woman, that's the name of my festival. And I do it quarterly so that we bring in speakers in this sacred container, only women, which has been, yeah, it's only women. And the women are bringing their messages for each other, and we are nurturing each other. And I love that we have so many diverse conversations that occur here in the Feminine Forum. And so it's lovely because whatever you need, is there's going to
Mhm.
be something. It's that, again, going back to saying yes. I know I need something. I don't know what it is. Women can come here together and begin to listen. Is there something here for me? Oh, yes, there it is.
Mhm.
And so that's what the Feminine Forum does. We have a sacred container that is women only. And we're going to have a new round October 14th through the 21st. And if you can't participate
Oh,
in the like the live, they
mhm.
stay in the Facebook group for 30 days. Thank you, Facebook.
Mhm.
That's a change. And
Nice.
this is an opportunity to connect with women who are in service to other women. And so, yes, these are women with businesses, they're coaches, they're all kinds of
Mhm.
business persons, and they are in service to women. And so it's lovely. If there's a way that we can hook your audience up, we would love
Yes.
to have you
Oh,
there.
I
And
would definitely put that in the description, of course, all of your contacts, but especially the forum as well, so people know where exactly to go because it's a free Facebook group that they can come into, right, and listen. And I encourage everyone to come and listen first. You may find that you actually have something to say, right? You may find that you will become a speaker because you really have something on your mind, something that you really want to say, and you really had no platform before. You really didn't know where you could say it. And I would encourage everyone to come and listen because
we
it's
love
an opportunity. Yes.
We love to nurture new speakers too. There is a whole group of us that are working together right now to get the women's voices out. And so if there are other platforms, if you're a speaker and you're needing a platform to speak on, we can hook you up.
So now you also see private clients. So do
Too.
you do this in person and online? Do you do both of it or just in person? How do you do that?
Well, right now it has been online, but the most exciting thing, one of my massage clients asked me to do coaching with her. And so we would have an hour of coaching and an hour massage back to back, and it was glorious. But if you're not here and I can't
Right.
do a massage on you, I can help you with the spiritual part of
Yes.
unwinding whatever it
Mhm.
is that you need in the coaching. Yes, my program right now that I have that seems to be really working well for women to get started on this whole idea of coaching is that I have a 4 session transformational experience. And so if there is something that a woman in particular wants to work on, like doubt, or to get rid of a limiting belief, or something that she's been working on and needs some assistance and a new perspective, and then that's what we go in and do. We get curious about what's going on, what's around this, what is behind it, and figure out she already has all the answers inside of
Mhm.
her. All I'm doing is guiding the way to help open up the space through the guidance of the spirit to allow this exploration. And many times there's things that are discovered that rise up from the subconscious, the unconscious that we didn't even realize. When it comes to our consciousness, then things can change, and that's the transformation.
Right.
So it's an adventure to go in and start looking. And if don't know where to start, we do a little mastermind kind of a
Mhm.
thing, figure all that out. I've got so many tools that whatever is needed in the moment, that we get to be creative. There's practices, there's homework, that sort of thing. But in 4 sessions, I have seen over and over and over
Mhm.
women who get reminded back on the path, or the path for the first time, or working out something. So that's what is the most powerful thing that I'm doing right now is the 4 session transformational experience.
Now, how can somebody find out about that? Or you have, first of all, you have a website, I'm assuming, which I will list in the description, but is this like through Facebook, this group? How do people find out? Do they go to your website to find out about the program itself? How does that work?
Well, I am currently creating my website. I have one, but it's not functional. So I'm not going to put that out there because
Right,
it doesn't
okay.
have all my information. But if they just contact me directly, I am on Facebook. So a
Right.
direct That's
Yes, and
it.
I will put all that. I will put all the social media links because I'm sure, are you on more than Facebook, right? Are you on Instagram? Because I'll
I
list all of the social media if that's the easiest way for people to get a hold of you.
Yeah. Facebook is probably the easiest because I'm on there the most
Right.
frequently. I am
Hmm.
on LinkedIn. I do have a solo tree that gives all that information.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just a matter of reaching out to me
Hmm.
and
To,
we'll make something happen.
yes. And you do also have groups on Facebook, so that I want to list as well because not only that the forum is on Facebook, but you have the group there because the other besides the forum, there's other activity that goes on in there.
Well, right now, just the forum. I do have another one specifically. It's called the
Mhm.
Caravan of Women, but it is a private one that once people
Right.
start working with me, then
Working with you. Yes.
that is a much more
Hmm.
cloistered group than
Hmm.
just Facebook, where it's like an oasis that women can
Hmm.
come in and get nourished and nurtured there. So, yeah, if anybody wants to find out more, just reach out to me and I will be happy to have a conversation. If I'm your person, and if I'm not, I can hook you up with a lot of
Right.
people. So, yeah, all we need to do is have a conversation about where
Right.
you are, what you're working with, what do you want?
Mhm.
And let's find out.
And so with all this that you're doing and everything and also caretaking because you're what private duty nurse, right? With no pay, because that's really what it is, private duty nurse. I mean, let's face it, it is a big job. It's a very big job when we're helping out family that are that in their in their illness or their time of need. It's all encompassing often. So with all this going on, where do you see yourself going from here?
Oh, I have big dreams all of a sudden. I have been invited onto an international stage. I am connected with a group of women who are networking around the world. So it is my intention to get there. I've had invitation to Nairobi, to
Oh,
Zimbabwe,
lovely.
South Africa. I've been invited to Washington, D.C., California, in Los Angeles. And so right now, I'm sort of sequestered at home. I don't know how it's going to unfold, but I'm again, like what we talked about, that next step, that next step. I know it's out there. I don't know what it looks like. I know that something is opening up and it's my job to just stay engaged, stay open, keep cleaning my house. There is a Rumi poem that talks about for every guest that arrives, meet them at the door laughing because you never know that your whole house may get swept up and swept through for
Mhm.
something even bigger. And so I'm just playing in the great mystery and having a wonderful time and inviting and trying to keep my vibration that those who are wanting to vibrate at a higher level in their higher consciousness and do what I'm doing. I'm hooked up with about five other women specifically that we are generating through sponsorship, supporting one
Yes.
another. And it is awesome to be in a small community. So I don't know what's unfolding, but I know I have big dreams. I know that the things that have been placed upon
Mhm.
my heart to show up and give the message, it's an exciting little ride and every step matters. And so be intentional about my steps. I don't know what it all looks like with the caregiving. That's part of it.
Mhm.
That
Yes.
nothing is outside of what I need to keep bringing me to higher and higher
Mhm.
consciousness. So sometimes that's that personal mind. It's like, gosh, it would be so much easier if I
Mhm.
didn't have to do that. But then I recognize that that's that voice that's,
Mhm.
and so then I'm off center. And so then I bring myself back to the place of alignment here that I silence that voice and come back to the center of the thing
Mhm.
that I'm doing and just whatever's needed in the moment. Keep coming back to my breath, being present. So I don't know what's ahead of me, but I know it's going to be good and it's good right now. It's hard and
So,
it's challenging, but I'm having the time of my life. I finally hooked up with you, Marissa.
yes, right after so long, right? We finally had an opportunity. Yes. because we've
Oh,
both been very busy. It's true. I
it-
was anxious to get you on, but I knew you were very busy and I know you have a lot going on, so but it
yeah.
was finally available that we had time together. That's
I'm
great.
so
And I want to, because of all this that you're saying now, and because you know the mystery of life more or less is what you're on the ride for. What one thing would you say to the audience, that there could be somebody out there listening that's still looking for something? What would you say to them?
Well, do they know what they're looking for? If they don't, there is an incredible mystery, the great mystery, the energy of life. I mean, it's some people probably would want something tangible, and so we can go there. I love living in the higher ethers that I have to keep bringing myself back down here. But if there is an ache upon your heart, begin to ask yourself, what is that? And what do I need? You don't have to have the answer, but again, opening to what is that that is wanting expression? What is it that get curious about what's happening inside of you in your own heart? I'm a Sufi practitioner, and one of the questions that they always ask is, what's the condition of your heart? And so, if you are having discord, discomfort, disruption in your heart, then that's where you start. And if you need somebody to talk to, I can help you get on the path. Just reach
Well,
out.
well, Sue, I want to thank you so much for coming on today and talking a little bit about what you're doing on the planet. And I want to thank you again for over 50 years of service to everyone. Um, I thank you very much. And hopefully we'll be able to speak again soon.
I'm looking forward to that time. Thank you so much, Marissa, for you opening your doors to me. In the human design, I am a projector, and so I always have to wait for the invitation. So I'm
Mhm.
so happy that you gave it to me, that we were able to meet together today. And I hope that our synergy is going to be a stimulus for those in the audience that need something to change. Just reach out to someone. If you're having a trouble, a struggle, that's the thing. I've been in the past suicidal, and I know that I'm so grateful that I was unsuccessful twice. And so, even if you don't know, you have a purpose, you have a mission. You may not know what it is, but everybody who is here on earth is here to contribute to the collective of humanity. And so, bring your best game. If you don't know what that is, find out. That's what this whole life experience is about, is to go and explore and bring in that joy into your own life and into the lives of others. You can make a difference. You can change the world. And we begin with ourselves. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Sue. That was wonderful. Thank you.
All right.
Take care now. Bye
Okay.
now.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.